Hey, all my listeners and saints. Let's jump right into this one. It's 4:36 in the morning. I'm tired, so if I mess up some, please forgive me. Okay, Fruit Loops, let's do this. We're going to be talking about Britany Drexel. And we know that from the evidence, from what they're telling us, our suspects should be the people. Honestly, I don't know what the hell that was, so that's why I skipped it. I believe these guys should be held for 4 days, and some guys um doing the exact same thing to them. That was the father of Brittany talking. um but the military, you mean that's how I am at heart. He was a military man, and I'm going to call the police in a second. You better split. Can you just tell me or tell us? I got nothing to say to you. You understand that you thank you and welcome. My name is Jennifer, and we're going to jump into this old video. I have a story for you. I mean, it's a mystery, it's a saga, and it's one that's went over for a dozen of years, perhaps even a baker's dozen. We start off in New York before going down to South Carolina, South Carolina, which are New York and South Carolina, the two heavy hitter states right there. So you know we're off to a good start. And this story is got a lot of twists and turns, rumors of false allegations, and you got some good old like me slapping incompetence. I like the like thrown in there for good measure. This will cover from April 2009 to May 2022. Oh, look at my little umbrella. This will come into play later. And that's in New York. That's where Brittany lived. This is Brittany. This is her family. The mom was married before and had Brittany. And then she got married again to this guy and had two more kids. This is Brittany. Brittany. She was so beautiful. Her eyes, she was like, they use the term blonde. I'll go into it more here in a minute. But she wore contacts, but this is her natural eye color. It is about an evil monster. You look kind of the professionals trying to find your words to use instead of like the usual. But sometimes you just got to go with the classics, and an evil monster works pretty well in this case. I'm itching to get into it, so let's give it a go. We start off in Rochester, New York, And we're going to the town of Chile through its, though it's pronounced Chili Willy, where in 2009, 17-year-old Britany Drexel wasn't was not having a great time of it. Britany was born October 7th, 1991, to John and Dawn. As a teen, unmarried parents, things were tough and the pressure that they were under made the couple go bananas and or act like a banana and split. Before Brittany was born, Dawn ended up meeting and falling in love with Chad Drexel, who would go on to adopt and raise Brittany as his own daughter. Chad and Dawn, in fact, got married shortly before Dawn gave birth to Brittany. That Chad served in the U.S. Navy, but he would eventually leave that behind for the life on the city street, and the family settled in Charlie. The couple went on to have two other children. Brittany had a little brother and a little sister, Marissa and Hammond. Thing Now, Brittany, growing up, she was um, she was like a girl's girl. She had to have her hair done always perfectly, the nails painted. She also had she was also on the soccer team. She was on the track team. She could. She's got one of those people who makes everybody else look bad, and she could do it. Oh, she was known for her blistering speed and the ability to outrun everybody she competed with by the way Brittany is, like distinctive sapphire eyes. Actually, the result of a condition she was born with. She required several pretty serious surgeries when she was still an infant that would leave her blind in her right eye. She'd wear contact lenses to counteract the eye's tendency to wander, and that gave her the extra sparkle. Like it wasn't a filter or anything, it was generally what her eyes looked like, unlike mine. So as time went on, Brittany's parents were going through a bad divorce, and Brittany was not taking it very well at all. Brittany took overdoses of her mother's medication, such she was struggling, and she was trying to figure out how to endure. Brittany's father later told an interviewer that Brittany had actually taken much less than the initially thought, and the doctors and family were now of the opinion it was more of a cry for help than an attempt of finding a definitive ending. As is often the case, Brittany, she just wanted to be woken up in a situation that was better than the one she went to sleep in, and it never was. On the 22nd of April 2009, 17-year-old Brittany asked her mother if she could go to Myrtle Beach with her boyfriend. My mom said, "Hell no, no." John Greco, 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 And a few other girls that she knew. Understandably, her mom said no, as she didn't know the people that Brittany was asking to go with and didn't know if she could trust them. Um, didn't know if they would look out for her, and she's only 17. After all, Dawn just wasn't happy with the complete lack of parental supervision so far away from home and her family. Well, we all know, what happens in South Carolina, right? None of it is good ever. And I might be biased. Here it is, the most definitely not, um, influenced by the amount of murder cases that I do cover from the state. I do not know what you're talking about. You're talking like a crazy person right now. This went on for several hours between her mother and daughter. Um, they exchanged angry words. Brittany said that she was going to go over to a friend's house and stay and wanted to know if it was okay. She's going to go cool off. Her mom thought that that would be a good idea. They could just both cool off and get level headed. And of course, Brittany had one of her friends call and talk to the mom because obviously in the South, I know they're in New York, but in the South, we have to do investigations on people before children go places. So she called one of her friends and she pretended like she was the mom that Brittany was going to go stay with, and everything was fine. So Brittany goes over to her friend's house. They go to Myrtle Beach. The boyfriend couldn't go, I don't think. He had to work. He had work commitments, but she was going with some of her old friends, the all girls. So they were on their way to Myrtle Beach. I wanted to put a lot of pictures in here, and there were a lot of pictures of her. Um, this is her and her boyfriend, by the way. Tis Myrtle Beach. I've been there many times. This was the path that she traveled from New York down to the Myrtle Beach. This was spring break, so bike week's probably going on. All the spring breakers, all this stuff. Um, I think this is New York. One of those was New York, but the New York one was the ugly one, where it didn't look like it had water. This is her at Myrtle Beach. She texted her boyfriend the whole time. Um, this is another view of, I think it was their apartments they stayed in or hotel. And she kind of felt like a third wheel because she was younger than the other girls. So the girls went on their way and she kind of went and was walking and stuff and, just thinking about things. They were kind of party chicks, and Brittany really wasn't. So she called her mom and told her everything is going well, still thinking that she's over at her friend's house. She told her mom that she was at the beach, and her mom thought that it was the 20 minutes down the road, not the beach multiple hours down the road, and several states away. So when Dawn heard this, she was like, glad you're having a good time. Um, and they're both cooling off. Brittany started feeling alienated from her friends. She went with all these girls, and The girls were older than her, like I said. John was messaging, that's her boyfriend, messaging Brittany and didn't even receive a reply within normal couple minutes. So he quickly got worried. And if it wasn't for this boyfriend getting worried and calling her mom, he told her, he said, he told Brittany when he didn't get a reply, he said, you need to reply to me within like a couple minutes. And I know that sounds kind of controlling ish, but you'll see why. And so she didn't. So he got worried. And so he said, if you don't call me within 10 minutes, I'm calling your mom and letting her know what's going on. And Brittany didn't reply. So he called the mom and let him know what was going on. Dawn called the police down there and put out a missing report. Um, the friends didn't know where she was. I think you have to be in the same state to file a missing report. But anyways, that gets moving finally. And I'm not sure if this was a hotel that they stayed in or the other one. Don't know. I can't remember. Oh, I remember. It was this one. The Bar Harbor. So they're all looking at the beach. People were starting to, try to see if they could find people. Brittany and one of her friends had, this is one of the last videos of Brittany, had, she arrived and then 10 minutes later she leaves. And one of her friends had called and wanted to know if she could bring her some clothes. I don't know if she got them wet, don't know what was going on. There she is leaving 10 minutes later. Um, I don't think she's in this one. But this is the last picture of Brittany walking down the road in Myrtle Beach. Um, so they wondered if maybe she got into a car or something, and they just wasn't sure of it. I had to put the Myrtle Beach sign in there. So they got a search party together. This little gentleman right here, this is one of Brittany's friends. Um, he became a suspect. She was so beautiful. I'm just kind of winging it now. I'm not going by my little script that I got. But they were really good friends. So they looked at him, and then they get tips here and there. They're going out looking for it. They're going out doing stuff in the woods to see. Um, they're looking down the roads. Maybe for some reason she walked off the road. Um, then this guy comes in the picture because the other guy got cleared. Now, I've watched videos, I've done research. I think this guy tells them that he knows who did it. This was an interview. He says on Monday I saw the girl. She's in a stash house. There's about 8 and 12 guys there. Um, they're kind of saying that she was taken advantage of. This is the stash house, better known as a trap house, and that this guy had something to do with it. He took lie detector tests. I think he passed them. This is him doing an interview, and he said this was the guy that was there, and then that's another picture of him. So then they got charges brought up against Timothy Deshaun Taylor. I think that's that guy. But this is the parents. They even went on Dr. Phil. Again, this is the last picture of her. And now this is where things get a little different. I don't know if there's more, obviously, there's more of this video, or if they see her get into this vehicle. But somehow she ends up getting into that vehicle. Well, that was a bunch of shit. Technical difficulty. And this is the man and woman that own the vehicle. It's a registered sex offender. She knows it. This is a reporter going to that man's job trying to interview him. He gets all huffy. Don't want to talk to nobody. This is him. And so this is what really got attention drawn to this man. I'll elaborate more on the woman. Said just made a threat that I could disappear just as easy as she did. He says they mean nothing to him. They're just like a toy in a toy box. And she goes on to say more. He's going to do that for a few hours. Now, the girlfriend of this guy doesn't seem to really care. And then he gets rid of them. This is talking about responsible for, that she thinks he could be responsible for someone's disappearance. And it goes on to where they bring in the girlfriend. Now, at this point, I'm not really sure if the girlfriend knows what's going on or why she's there. You can see the detectives over here, there's three of them. But once she starts figuring it out, she says, I'm out of here. Then that guy talks her into coming back. And so they bring him in because she mentioned some things that, you know, didn't make sense, that didn't fit the evidence or anything like that. Um, he said the Drexel girl was walking on the sidewalk. He asked her if she wanted to smoke some pot, or I was smoking pot, and she noticed and walked over to the door and said something about it smells like good weed. And I said, yeah. She hops in the vehicle, they're smoking, all this stuff. Now you seen that road, it looked pretty damn busy. And so they're interviewing him, they're gonna lock his ass up. They're still trying to find her. They had he had put her somewhere in the river along the bank, and they still never found her body. He was charged with rape by force, kidnapping, lewd acts with a child. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lewd acts with a child, sodomy with a person under the age of 14. And this was him giving his little speech whenever he went to court and he was sentenced to death. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching. I know the last two videos have been shitty, but I'm tired. I want to try to get them out. I'm working on my little effects and all this stuff. So hopefully I'm getting better at this. If you have any suggestions on improvements, not really on these two because these were really bad, but if you have any suggestions on my other videos, please leave them in the comment section and I will respond within 1 to 3 business days. Thank you. No, I'm serious. Do leave a comment though. And as always, thank you for joining me and I will talk to you later. Bye.